that than the Bay Area. The Warriors hosting the Dallas Mavericks in this one. Jimmy Butler's home debut here. Again, the Mavericks shorthanded, but first quarter here, Stephen Curry, this is what he does. Steps back, drains the three. And now to the second, Jimmy Butler with a little misdirection. Bucket there. Butler again collecting the loose ball, giving it to Steph, to Buddy Hield. This is the Warriors at their best.
This is the Warriors at their best. When you get out running and you hit them shooters, and Buddy Hield is hitting shot, and they ain't just leaving the shot-making ability just to Steph Curry.
Well, Jimmy Butler looks like he's having a whole lot of fun in this one. Third quarter now. Steph Curry gets that one to go. Butler and Curry combined for 28 points here in the first half. And then in the third quarter here.
Lord have mercy.
He gave him the night in the third quarter.
Yes, he did.
And he was right.
Steph Curry, once again, Golden State gets the win here. Let's take a listen to Steph on life after the Jimmy Butler trade.
Just trying to develop an identity with this team after the trade, and everybody's trying to figure out their role. We're playing hard, playing with a high level of IQ. You understand what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor. After that ugly first 3 minutes, we settled in, and the ball is moving. Jimmy's making his presence felt. Draymond, orchestrating the offense. Defensively, we're playing well, so just got to keep building. And it's been a good look so far.
How can this, Brian, be sustainable here for the Golden State Warriors? Because they've looked pretty good with Jimmy Butler.
Well, they're in a tough spot in the standings because they had a rough December and January, but they are still time, and there's still maneuverability in the West. And if they can somehow, the goal, and Steve Kerr has said this, get to sixth. Get to sixth, because last year they didn't make it through the play-in. So if they can get to sixth, they like their chances with Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, and I respect it. We'll see how this next month and a half goes.
We'll see. I mean, listen, there's a lot of experience. When you talk about a Lakers team, you talk about a Denver team and stuff like that, game slows come playoff time. You never know how that could work against them, considering that they're relatively small or thin on their front line. But I got to tell you something. When I see some of the inexperienced teams that may be talented but inexperienced, and I think about Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green being able to get at them, Golden State's very interesting and very, very scary because they're shot makers.
What Jimmy Butler does, he gives this organization the chance to compete for a championship. That's what he brings immediately. And what he brought, when you get that extension, they alleviated any need for him playing for contract or anything like that. He's only playing for wins. You see, he's not playing for shots. He's shooting a very low amount of shots per game. He's efficient from free throw, but he's guarding. There was a play the other night. He was guarding literally 1 through 5 on any given possession. And I know I saw what Brian said on the countdown earlier about the honeymoon period, and he does feel like this organization is better than any other organization he's been a part of. But I'm telling you, it's different this time. I haven't sensed the same feeling he's had when he went to Philly, when he went to Miami. This is different for Jimmy Butler going to Golden State. He's staying late for shoot-arounds. He's staying late for practices. He's spending so much time in the training room, the meal room. He's going above and beyond to ingratiate himself with the Warriors right now.
They're still a first-round exit, and let's put this in perspective. If they get the 8th spot, they're going to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anybody up here picking Golden State over OKC? No. Okay. If they get the 7th spot, they most likely are going to get probably Memphis, Denver, or the Lakers.
I think they have a chance against Memphis.
Memphis go fall down. Okay. You picking them up against the Nuggets or the Lakers?
But would you be surprised if they won?
Let's see. Let's just see how the next month and a half goes.
Let's see.
Yes, I think so.
Let's see how it goes.
I think the West is wide open.
Well, speaking of the West, we have a box office show. Check in on Philadelphia, shall we? Because the Sixers, they haven't won since 5 days before the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Their 7th straight loss comes at the hands of the Brooklyn Nets last night. That's where Joel Embiid was benched for the 4th quarter. And earlier today, head coach Nick Nurse, he spoke about the health of their big man.
Listen, I think they're trying to do, all the things that they think are necessary each and every day to try to get it better. I mean, I would agree with you that he's not moving nearly as well as he was, and we were hoping maybe some conditioning, rhythm, that kind of stuff would get that going, but it doesn't appear that way right now.
So Nick Nurse says that Joel hasn't been playing like himself. This is what that's looked like, especially as of late. He's scored 15 or fewer points in each of his last 2 games, and last time Embiid did that in consecutive games, it was all the way back in 2021. Our senior insider, Shams Charania, is here with us. Shams, what are the Sixers currently weighing here in terms of what's next for Joel?
Malika, sources tell me that the 76ers and Joel Embiid are now consulting with doctors and considering options such as surgery on his left knee. I'm told that Embiid is scheduled to have test imaging done on his knee early this week. And at that point, both sides will collaborate with specialists on the best path forward. Embiid has done multiple treatment solutions, options that he's tried throughout the season. His knee just has not been right. That's included regular and frequent shots in that knee. Just has not yielded any improvement. And the 76ers and Embiid so far listening to doctors' belief that surgery is not required or recommended as of yet. But even again, after last night's loss to the Nets, I'm told Joel Embiid experienced more swelling in that knee. He didn't practice. Now he's going to have more imaging done. The 76ers are going to have to make the best decision, and they're going to do what's smart here with Joel Embiid as well as with the organization. This is a team, obviously, we know standings-wise has been floundering, and he's on a contract for several more years as their cornerstone.
Forgive me, Brian, if this is a silly question, but swelling is continuing. They're still consulting with doctors. Their pick is top 6 protected. What the heck are the 76ers waiting for?
Well, look, I can't speak to exactly his knee health, but I can say that they've got 4 years and $250 million left that they owe him. And so they need to make sure that he's taken care of the best way possible. That's number one. Number two, when you look at the standings, you have to have an honest assessment of the situation. Their pick is top 6 protected, which means if the pick is 7 or higher, it goes to Oklahoma City. If it's 6 or lower, they keep it. Now, this gets complicated. So if they have the 7th percentage chance of in the lottery, if they go in with the 7th worst record, they have a 65% chance of losing their pick. That's about where they are right now. Right now, they're 6th. If they go in with the 6th, which is where they are right now, 46%. This is to keep their pick. So if you finish 7th, 32% you keep it. If you finish 6th, 46% you keep it. 5th, you can see they're 64%. They are within 3 games of 5th right now. Toronto is in 5th. They have 2 games left with Toronto. Brooklyn is in 7th. They have lost to Brooklyn twice in the last 2 weeks. This is kind of a no-brainer. With this draft, with your situation where you're going to lose your pick or not, they have to make maneuvers to make sure that they finish 5th or 6th to give themselves the most possible opportunity to retain that draft pick.
But they're not doing that yet. They're still weighing options.
Well, they're losing. They've lost 9 out of 10. It's happening anyway.
America, you don't give a damn about the Sixers, and neither do we. We're reporting the news because Sham's great. He's the best in the business. Wendy told you what he told you, and basically what he said was lose, so you can hold on to your lottery pick, that top 6 protected pick, okay? And you got the perfect excuse because Paul George, he's injured. He's not been healthy all year, even though he's been on the court sometimes. Joel Embiid, have we seen? When did he look good this year? When was he moving well this year? It has not been the case. They are done. This season is over. The city knows it. There's no brotherly love for the Sixers. Lose. Sit Joel Embiid for the rest of the season like Perk was saying last year. Sit Paul George while you're at it and just be done with it and prepare for the next 3 years because this season is a joke. Nobody gives a damn about the Sixers because we know they're not healthy.
I mean, Steve A., the season started with us talking about how Joel Embiid would be taking regular time off this season, that there was an investigation on opening night. We were talking about an investigation into potential, player participation. So that's where their season started. Clearly, where we're at now, 16 games under 500, that is potentially where it's ending, too.
Sounds like a dysfunctional organization. Sounds like an organization that is lacking leadership. And when you have an organization lacking leadership, you need a clean house. You need a clean house. The only person that should be coming back next year is Tyrese Maxey, who's your franchise player. Everybody else should be reevaluated. From the bottom all the way up to the top, and I'm talking about Daryl Morey as well. Daryl Morey didn't have to give Joel Embiid $200+ million this offseason. He didn't have to do it. He did that. Right? And so now you get to this point, And we've been asking, what is the plan since last year? Shut Joel Embiid down. Put a plan in place. Make sure he can come back healthy to return for this season. They didn't do that as well. So now, hold on. When you have an organization that's functional and moving in the right direction, everybody's on the same page, correct? Everybody's on the same page. And when I say everybody's on the same page, this is not our good friend Lisa Salter's fault when she reported that day that Joel Embiid said, hey, I might have to have surgery. Joel Embiid should have never said that. But see, when you're not together in an organization, the information leaks out like that. That should have never been said. So again, this organization is dysfunctional. They lack leadership. And everyone needs to be reevaluated except for Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, left out one other name that doesn't need to be reevaluated because things were all right when he was doing his thing. It's Mr. Elton Brand. What was wrong with the Sixers at that particular moment in time? You had people questioning whether or not Daryl Morey was needed. What was he needed for coming over from Houston? Because the Sixers were moving in a forward direction. Listen, I'm not trying to sit up there and cost anybody their job or anything like that. But the reality is that right now, Tyrese Maxey, the Sixers are so bad, I would see if I could get away with pulling off Tyrese Maxey just to save him. Just to save him from being exposed to the